Today is Super Bowl Sunday. I'm Joseph. This is Input English. I'm recording this episode on Super Bowl Sunday in 2026. Today will be the 60th Super Bowl. So why am I so happy about Super Bowl Sunday? Of course, all of the episodes posted on the Input English channel are for Comprehensible Input. Comprehensible Input is the best way to acquire skills in the English language. If you would like to understand English better, listening to a lot of comprehensible input would be a very good move on your part. With enough input, we actually naturally develop the ability to express ourselves more clearly and intuitively. With comprehensible input, we are not trying to think of a word that we can't remember, a word that we memorized out of context, and now we can't find that word to use it. With comprehensible input, we're not thinking about grammar rules. We say things intuitively because we've heard them so many times. We have a feel for the language. This is the way children learn languages, and this is an excellent way for adults to acquire languages as well. If you're new to comprehensible input, I have a lot of videos on this channel that talk about how to use it and how it works. So let's get started with today's topic. It's Super Bowl Sunday. What's that all about? Around the world, there is a game that people frequently call football. In the United States, we call that game soccer. What we call soccer, or what most people call football, is played with a round ball. This ball is controlled by the feet of the players, and it is the goalie guarding each of the two goals who is allowed to handle the football with the hands. We call that game soccer. We play it a little bit in school, and some kids get involved in soccer in a big way. It has a very significant popular following in the United States. But in the United States, soccer is not nearly as well known or as popular as football. What we in the United States call football around the world might be referred to as American football. In the rest of my discussion with you today, I'm just going to call it football. And when I say football, I'm talking about American football. That's what the Super Bowl is all about. When we are children, we have opportunities to play football. Very small children have trouble handling the large, heavy ball. By the time we are in junior high school, we are given opportunities to play football on teams. Junior high schools, and colleges frequently have football teams. The football that we use to play this game is not round. It is pointed on two ends, and that developed gradually in the early 1900s because one of the things that football players wanted to do was pass the ball forward, and they were looking for a more aerodynamic ball. So this elongated spheroid shape, called a prolate spheroid, developed in order to facilitate forward passes. The shape of the football, its weight, and its composition has been standardized now. In addition to school football games, there are professional football games. In the United States, there is the National Football League, or NFL, and as I recall, that includes 32 different franchises, 32 different teams. These teams are usually very well funded, and they employ professional football players full time. Each of these teams has a home city, although from time to time, the franchise owner may choose to change cities and move the team to a different location. All of the teams in the National Football League are in the United States. There are no teams outside the United States participating in the NFL. During the season, these teams compete and people keep track of the scores. Based on the scores of the various games that are played, the teams are ranked and eventually a playoff is scheduled. At the end of the playoff, there are 2 teams remaining and they play against each other in the Super Bowl, and that playoff game is today. Not only is it today, but it's here in town. The Super Bowl is being played in Santa Clara, which is an area within San Jose. Super Bowls are very popular among enthusiasts, and the Super Bowl game will be televised. That is, it will be available on television. It will also be available streaming online. Millions of people will watch the Super Bowl today. When I was a kid growing up, I had plenty of opportunities to play football. I must admit, I didn't particularly enjoy playing the game. There were plenty of things in my life that I was good at, but playing football was not among them, so I really didn't enjoy playing it. Other kids ran faster and had better coordination handling the ball. Other kids also knew the rules better. I wasn't that familiar with the actual rules of the game. That changed when I got to high school because I was in the band. In the United States, the high school marching band typically sits in the bleachers and watches the game. All the members of the band are sitting there watching the game. During my years in the marching band, I learned a lot more about the game of football. Occasionally, I found it interesting. After all, this game of football is designed to be interesting for people to watch, and I must say that occasionally I got caught up in the enthusiasm watching the game unfold, not knowing who was going to win, not knowing who was going to score points. Over the years, I tried to watch football. I tried to watch college football and professional football. My wife was much more interested in football than I was. She liked to watch her college football team play on television. She was always rooting for her alma mater, that is, her college. So occasionally, over the years, my wife and I would watch college football when her alma mater was playing. We got out of the habit of watching football at all. So with that background of my basic disinterest in football, why am I so excited that today is Super Bowl Sunday? It doesn't make sense, does it? To understand this better, let's tell you a little story. A number of years ago, when I was on the faculty of UC Davis, I got to know one of the other faculty members who did a lot of editing of publications that came out of our department. He had an advanced degree, I believe, in English, and was very good at expressing himself, very good at cleaning up manuscripts so that they were more understandable and more readable. He really improved the publications that were produced by our department. He didn't do the research. He helped the faculty members express themselves more clearly. He and I became friends, and at some point we were talking, and he pointed out that the coming weekend would be the Super Bowl. I expressed my basic disinterest, and he surprised me by saying, "Perfect. Would you like to come out to the house during the Super Bowl? I can show you the house and my garden, He offered to do that during the Super Bowl. We took him up on the offer. That is, we accepted the offer to visit his home and his family during the Super Bowl. After all, we weren't going to watch it. We drove over to Davis, which is a relatively small college town. We found the place and were greeted as we parked the car. He showed us around the house and introduced us to his wife and daughter. The house was very neat and very well finished. As we discussed the house, he pointed out that he and his wife had built it themselves. With their own hands, they had erected this house, completed it, finished all the details, and were now living in it. He was living in a home that he built with his own hands. I marveled. I was also very impressed with the high quality of the workmanship. One of the striking features of this well-appointed home was there was no television. He confirmed that they didn't own one. During our visit, we went out into his garden, but we discovered that what he called a garden, most people would call a farm. Even though he was working as a full-time faculty member at UC Davis, he found time to run a small farm in Davis. He grew vegetables and fruit for the household, but he grew ornamental flowers that he sold so that other people could have beautiful flowers. As we walked around his garden, what we would normally call a farm, it was very foggy. The fog was very dense and it was a cool morning. As we walked around, it was very quiet. It was surreal. That is, it seemed dreamlike. It seemed unreal. It seemed very unusual. As we walked around on the farm, we went into the barn and I got to see his tractor that he used to till the rows and maintain his farm. It was an antique tractor that he had restored himself. Again, the workmanship was fantastic. We walked out into the rows of flowers. We saw plants in various stages of early development. After our visit, my wife and I discussed what had happened. We agreed that that was the best Super Bowl Sunday we had ever had. We spent time with nice people. We saw an interesting location, and it was very peaceful and quiet. Since that experience, I have noticed something interesting about Super Bowl Sundays. Super Bowl Sunday is not a holiday, so the stores tend to be open, the parks are open, but a large segment of the population is focused on the Super Bowl, so parks and stores tend to be very quiet. There is usually very little traffic on the roads during the Super Bowl. Since this Super Bowl 60, is being played here in San Jose, there will be a lot of traffic around the stadium. This would not be a good time for me to go to that part of San Jose. Traffic problems are completely foreseeable, but I have no need to go up to that area. It is foreseeable that here, south of San Jose, the roads will be quiet, the parks will be quiet, and the stores will be quiet. Pre-game starts about 1 in the afternoon. It appears that it's going to be a beautiful day, so this afternoon I could ride the bicycle in the park without running into a lot of people. The park, the stores, and the highways will be very quiet for several hours during the Super Bowl. As you listen to this, you might think that I am negative about the Super Bowl. I am not. I simply recognized many years ago that it's really not for me. There is a phrase that we use commonly that covers this. To each his own. That phrase came into the English language from Latin, and in English, phrases like that date back to the late 1500s. As is often the case, the phrase got a lot more use after it became the title of a movie in 1946. I am certain that my parents were familiar with that movie title, and so when I was growing up, I heard that phrase, "to each his own," very commonly. It's a very polite phrase that simply expresses that we each have our own interests and that differences are just fine. So I enthusiastically point out that today is Super Bowl Sunday and I plan on enjoying it. I have no idea who is playing, and I won't be watching the game because, as we know, to each his own. I hope that you are subscribed to the Input English channel. If not, hit that free subscribe button. It's right here, and it's free. It really helps. I invite comments below, and if you like videos like this, be sure to click on this one next. See you soon.